In this video, I'm going to show you how to take simple shapes like a triangle, a square, and a circle to make a really cool looking deer cartoon character. And this is especially for our beginners and want to learn how to be able to draw cartoons a very simple way. This is the video for you. Hey, my name is Mars and I am a character illustrator and also a designer within the animation industry working here in Los Angeles, California. And I want to be able to bring you some of the lessons and tips and also things that I've learned along the way within the animation industry to bring to you so you can be able to learn how to draw cartoons in a very simple and easy way. This is how I learned, and I want to be able to now bring it forward to you so you can be able to draw this cartoon with me. So come along, get your paper and pencil or whatever medium you want, and let's draw this cool looking deer cartoon. Let's go. So the first shape obviously is going to be the triangle. And I'm going to do a triangle like this. Like that. The next shape that I'm going to use is going to be the circle. So I'm going to put that right here. Right there. This is going to be symbolized the round part of the head. Lastly is going to be this is where the neck is going to be. So I'm going to be using the rectangle. Like this. And now that we did our due diligence and really created that basic structure of the character, now we're going to start really breaking this down to the smaller shapes. So this is going to be our basic shape. We're not done yet because we have, I'm going to put the ears right here. The triangle right there. I'm not going to use this part because I'm gonna get rid of it in a moment, but I want to just remind myself where the shapes I'm going to go. And obviously we do have the antlers, so I'm going to move these other shapes over here. Make it a little bit smaller. Go back to my drawing layer and really solidify the shape I want to draw. Let's see, yeah. So you see the antlers are pointing that way. So I'm gonna do I'm not gonna draw them completely from here, but I'm just gonna do this as to symbolize what I'm trying to draw right there. Basic shapes. All right, let's not get too carried away. And you can already tell from this that the shape of the deer is already starting to be able to be much more prevalent. And this is honestly one of the ways that I really had to teach myself on how to be able to draw, because I think that I was just rushing into making my drawings too nice, too fast, and I was really sacrificing the method of how to just bring basic shapes into a reality. So I'm going to take this round part and I'm going to create a halfway point right there. As you can tell, this is where the eye line is going to go. Right there. Because we're looking at it from side view, I want to have the eye somewhere right here. Right there. Fantastic. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just round this part down, and I'm going to shave off the tip of the triangle right here. And you can already tell that now it's starting to look a lot like the image that we have used for reference. And guys, another thing is, don't feel bad if you are using photographs as reference, because a lot of the artists that I work for, I mean, believe me, every day I see the artists, the animators using references, photo references, to be able to create a character. And don't think that you just have to do it off the top of your head. I know your imagination is good, but it's also really good to have some kind of base where you can be able to reference off of. All right, so here it is. and create the ears. And again, guys, this is going to be just a really loose drawing. I'm not looking to be, I really just want to see the shape before I start to really digging in and really finding out or making it much more fine, much more refined, if I should say. All right, the other shape I'm going to focus on is going to be a, for the nose, I'm going to do this shape. It's kind of like a little bit of an upside down L, like a thick upside down L, symbolize the nose. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a smile. Just the top part of the head, I'm going to just do that. And I'm following, you see how I'm following that bottom line? I want to use that as a anchor to know, to guide myself on how to be able to draw the top of the mouth. And you can see that deers don't have a really big mouth. They just have a little bit shorter. The lips aren't that long and they don't go too far back. So I'm just gonna keep it a little bit here, more modest. And all right, and that's honestly right now as we are doing this, we are really now getting the shape of our drawing. And I'm gonna shrink. I'm gonna bring the opacity down a little bit lower, so that way it's not competing with the blue. And I already did almost half of the work from here now, so I'm just gonna continue just drawing a little bit rough. What I want to do is I want to create the bottom part of the mouth. So I'm going to take the top part and I'm going to just give a little bit of a smile, like that. Bring this line a little bit lower, and then because it connects on this part, I'm drawing from behind. I'm just gonna connect it like this and bring that part of the mouth right there, and a little give that a chin. And you can tell from right here that deer do have a chin. And I'm gonna give it a little bit of a happy expression. So this line is gonna follow to the jawline in the back of the deer, like that. Because again, we're guiding ourselves from this, from the back line of the triangle. This is where the jawline is supposed to be, somewhere around there. And you can already tell, guys, it's already coming up. We're really sculpting this character, this deer character out, and then we're gonna start digging more into what the eyes will look like, and also just redefining it, making it look much more like a actual deer, not just lines just being built. So I'm going to take the eye now. I'm going to draw the eye right here. Make a circle. And I'm going to create that base of the eye right there. Again, I'm just drawing really rough, guys. It's not, I want to make sure I can just, if I see a line that I don't like, I'm just going to just get rid of it. Yeah. And then create this part of the eye. And this right up here is going to be where the eyebrows are going to go. That big muscle, that part of the eyebrow that sticks up. Right there. Cool. And I'm just going to make this line a little bit darker just to make it more concrete that this is going to be the top and this part of the deer. All right, looking good. It's looking good so far. And where I live, there's a ton of these guys. These guys are always walking around my neighborhood. I live in LA, and the neighborhood I live in is right by the hillside. So all of these deer every morning or sometimes even in the afternoon, especially in the summertime, they like to come down and just go to a field and we'll just walk around the streets and just be, doing their deer thing. They really like coming down in the morning. Early morning times is the best time to see them. Sometimes I take hikes in the early morning, and like I always see them walking around by the houses. So I'm gonna draw the ears now, and you can tell from this shape I'm drawing this. It's kind of like a what is this, a rhomboid? It's been a while since I've been to school, guys. I just know it by it's a rhomboid. I'm gonna look it up. Hopefully it is. If not, I can be able to write it down if this is the right shape or not. So I'm gonna draw this shape as the ear. So that way, and if you find value in this, guys, and if this tutorial was a benefit for you, I want to invite you to be able to hit that subscribe button so you can be able to follow along with more tutorials that I'm going to make in the future, and also the ones I've already done, so that you can be able to, like me, improve your character design and really learn how to get those simple shapes and really make really cool looking characters. If you also found this helpful, leave a comment down below and tell me how this was helpful to you, and subscribe to my channel so I can be able to continue making much more designs like this. So let's get back into drawing, finishing up drawing our character. Touch something on my keyboard and then moved. And again, this is just rough drawing, guys. I'm focusing right now is just to get the basic shapes down, and I'm gonna be drawing the rest of the character in a much more just fine and redefine the shapes. Now, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to bring the opacity down a little bit lighter, and I'm gonna go over it again. Now that I have the whole structure is already there, and you can tell where we came from. We came from these shapes, and now I'm gonna go, and now I made this. Now I'm gonna bring another layer on. So let's start with the eye. Let's redefine the eye. Make that nice, because as the phrase the eyes are the windows to the soul. I always like to start off with the eyes because honestly, to me, eyes are the much more harder part. So I like to just get that done out of the way, and then once I get that out of the way, it just brings me confidence. I mean, to me, that's something that is just for me. I like to do the hard things, the most difficult things at the beginning, because then after that, it's just a breeze. Some people like to do the easy parts. That's totally fine. Works for them. I like to do the hard stuff first, just to get that out of the way and really put my brain power to just focus on that. So now what I did was that I took that shape and I'm gonna create. Remember how I like to use an egg example. As you can tell, this kind of looks like an egg. That's how I like to draw my eyes, like that, like an egg that's kind of leaning, like leaning this way. Next, I'm gonna draw the eyebrows right up here. Give it a little bit of a, I mean, sorry, eyebrow, eyelashes. So what I did was I followed all of the previous layers, structured exactly where I needed to place every part of the eye. Started from the eyeball, made the egg shape, and then after that, I put the eyelashes. And then because the eyebrows are not too far away from the actual lid of the eye, I want to measure exactly where they're gonna go. And because there is a muscle underneath that moves up your eyebrows, and if I need to change it, I'll just go back and change it. So I'm just, again, I'm not too concerned of putting every detail down just yet. I can be able to always come back and be able to change it up if I don't like it. For the nose, I'm gonna create a nostril right here. right there. Again, a little bit of an egg shape right there, just to give you guys context. I'm gonna have this corner come up and come down. This corner meets up right here. I'm not gonna fill that part of the egg, but I'm going to just bring this down and then connect them. So that looks a lot like a nose. So now I'm gonna connect this part of the top part of the cranium of the ear. You know what I would, as a kid too, what I would get is my mom used to work with a family that had a subscription to Disney's because they had babies at the time, and they would always buy from the Disney store. They would get a bunch of Disney clothes for the kids, and they would always be sent catalogs. And my mom would always get the catalogs that the family didn't want, and she would just bring them home. And she's like, "Hey, look, I got you stuff." And then in the catalogs, there was always these cartoons, the Disney cartoons, and I would just practice drawing those catalog pictures into my sketchbook, and I would just continue to fill out all of my drawings, and it was that was honestly one of my biggest training era places, just to be able to just practice and practice. All right, so now we're gonna bring this part of the neck down. And then since the horns of the deer has this part, let me just take it. They have like this part right there where the base of the horn is. I'm gonna draw a shape that looks a little bit like that. So I'm gonna go back to my deer and I'm gonna create a base of the horn right there. This is where the horn is sticking out of his cranium. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on the horns because I want to be able to do, even though they are important because they are part of the deer, I'm gonna just do these shapes right there. And then that, boom, all straight edges. And now you believe that it is a deer. All right, next I'm gonna work on the ears and the shapes that this is why I like building from layer to layer, because I can really trust now the drawings I did before. The drawings I did before are going to give me that confidence in knowing that, okay, these lines are correct, these lines look good, just keep building off of it. So now you did the basic, all the hard work has been done earlier. So I'm just going to follow and trace over the lines I drew beforehand. Cool. And I'm just going to do this right there. And voila, now this looks like a definite deer character. So what I'm going to do is go back and see how I all started from. So I'm going to take the previous layers that I did. I'm going to bring that opacity back. You can tell. This is how we started. I'm going to go backwards. These shapes was how we started. From doing these. From doing these shapes, this is what our base came from. So now I'm going to go shrink that down. Then I took all of that translation and did this. This started with a triangle, the square, the circle, all of the simple shapes for the horns. Then I came over it and started to really add in a couple lines of definition. And after that, that was a little bit more of the much more detailed design. And lastly, let's just bring that down a little bit. And this is the end of You can literally now reward yourself on get a black pen and do what I'm doing and reward yourself on making a nice, clean looking character because you did all the work from the beginning. So now it's going to be reaping the fruits of your labor, of your design. And again, following all of these lines, which gave you the ability to create a really cool character. And this is actually my favorite part when it comes to the end of my drawing. This is where I really finish it off. I'm going to create that um, design of the eye to make it look like it's actually a sphere. And given that darkness of the eye, and that light is coming through. So I'm going to give that part, the top part, the darker area, and then the lighter part on the bottom of the eye. And then with a white, I'm going to give that specular reflection and give that shine to the eye. That is going to be our deer. And that is going to be the outline of our deer. And you can be able to turn off the other layers. And voila, you have a really cool looking character, deer character right there. Oh, let me just finish drawing the ear. Missed that ear. So that is going to be our outline. And you can continue redefining it and make it much more cleaner. But that is going to be the basics of drawing, how to draw a deer.